Lotuses. Welcome to another episode of the Lotus Letters podcast. We are in season 2 still. And on tonight, I am your host, Maddie Stevenson. We're going to be talking about the spirit of fear. The spirit of fear is a topic that we discuss, but we don't discuss. We're talking about things that we are afraid of, and there is a healthy amount of being afraid. But the spirit of fear is just what it says. It's a spirit that lingers, that causes anxiety, doubt, frustration. And I want to talk about it on tonight. I want to talk about it because it is dear to me. I want to talk about it because it has hindered me. I know about it firsthand. And many of my lotuses that came last season, let me tell you guys, this chair is oily. They shared, they opened up, they were transparent. And with me sitting in this seat this season, that same oil has now hit me. I'm opening up. I'm no longer feeling hindered. I'm no longer feeling like I can't be myself in front of you all. You know, I ended last season saying that some of me was kind of still holding back because I was trying to navigate some of the parameters that people were telling me I should be operating in during this podcast. I was like, this is my podcast. God gave this to me for you. So I have to do it like he told me to do it. Tonight, I have my guest, Shamila Luster. She is back. She is the only one who has made a second appearance thus far. And I know tonight is going to be dope. I had a birthday. She had a birthday. And we're not playing. All right?
This year, we are not.
Shamila is going to read her letter on tonight. I want y'all to send me your letters. lotusletterspodcast@gmail.com. And if you don't have your merch yet, please go find us on Amazon. Lotus Letters merch. Buy a hoodie, buy a bag, buy a pillow, buy something for your girlfriend. It's dope. We have all different colors. We even have those little muggy things. What are they called?
Little coffee mugs.
Coffee mugs. It could be water, juice. It could be something special that you're sipping on. Okay. Don't delete that. I want that in this. Don't delete that. Without further ado, because y'all know me, when I start yapping, anything subject to come out, I do not want the producer to have to do a lot of editing this show because he knows me. Nevertheless, Shamila, please read your letter.
Dear Lotuses, God has not given you the spirit of fear, but of power and a sound mind. Growing up, we all heard the scripture and still find ourselves functioning in fear. Recently, I read something so powerful. You cannot break generational curses while seeking the validation from the generation that's cursed. That hit home because we seek validation from the ones we are trying to break away from. My mother used to tell me that if my grandmother had been alive at this time, I would have never made it to North Carolina. She said she stopped her from going to college out of state because her mother stopped her, so relocation was never in the cards for us. However, I didn't allow that generational fear of leaving the very foundation that my great-great-grandparents had built to stop me from relocating. I broke that mold. I relocated, even as a single mother, which then allowed my mother to break it by coming too. You see, fear is a place that you gave power to. You hold it hostage. It's something that you will not break away from. Fear isn't something that we believe we believers function in. It's a tool that the enemy attempts to use for us to stay still and stagnant. Lotuses, this is personal for us tonight. Stay away from the still living at that same place, still working at that same job, still functioning in that same fear. That spirit wasn't given to you by the Creator. It's something you decided to feed. And now you're going to starve it by just doing it scared. Tell your story and be free from the fear that has your tongue. Learn how to live in freedom without fear.
Whoa. Okay, I said that the two of us just had birthdays, so a lot of our thinking is similar. We can have one thought and it's just so many different other revelations come. And in your letter, I was able to identify with a lot. And it's not that we discredit our mothers or our grandmothers.
Right.
It's just at some point we have to make a decision that we're not going to do what we've been taught,
Right.
especially when we know it's wrong
Right. Right.
or that it's holding us back.
Right.
A lot of times the generation before us, they went off what they were told to do. They were taught not to go against family traditions, learned behaviors. But as we sought to become, let's call it what it is, a little bit more educated, because our mothers and our grandmothers, they worked with their hands and they worked hard so we would be able to get an education. But the one thing that they didn't always account for with the education is that we was going to deviate off the path that they were
Creating or making for us.
indirectly, right?
Yeah.
And it's not because they didn't want better. Check this, Lotuses. They were afraid of the unknown. Sometimes you know what you're doing is wrong. You see the nuances of it not being healthy,
Right.
but that's what you know,
Right.
right?
That's what you don't know.
That sometimes makes you afraid.
Ooh,
Those areas of foreign territory. The spirit of fear and not knowing what's on the other side. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let me go back to when I was a child,
Yes.
because I've been talking about this season, the sexual abuse that I encountered as a child. And as I started thinking about the spirit of fear, I thought about even then that seed of perversion came along with that spirit of fear.
Right.
The enemy, I call the devil the enemy, and I have to tell you my account.
Right.
Doesn't necessarily mean that you believe in God or the devil or whoever your higher power is. I'm talking from a place of mind. Capitalize off that. Even now, if I have to be transparent, Lotuses, I need to sleep for light on it, because that's still something I'm navigating and working through. And then this last year, of course, I've been in therapy. I've been going through EDMR. So things that I have placed and tucked away, I'm now having to face it. So I'm gradually being able to come out of those places of fear. But I shared that to say a seed was planted then. And because it was not dealt with, he was able to capitalize off of it and grow it. It evolved. It evolved into me being attracted to other things, but it also evolved into me needing validation in areas I didn't even know that's what I was requiring.
Wow.
It also caused me to back up from purpose. I battled with the imposter syndrome, feeling I wasn't good enough, no matter how much education I went to get, no matter how many certifications I received, no matter how much training I sought after or promotion, opening businesses, being successful, but still operated under a spirit of fear.
Yeah. That is, somebody got free just off of that right there, okay? Somebody got free.
I don't want to be all.
It's
Listen,
the
I can talk about this.
transparency. It's
Listen.
the transparency, because we, as women of color, right, we are not transparent. We are the under the rug. culture. We know, we just know, you know, whatever happens in this house stays in this house. Don't tell nobody what happened. And so I'm happy that you're going through the process of coming over that spirit of fear. And that's going to help somebody, one of the Lotuses, come over that spirit of fear.
That's my prayer.
And we walking over this rug. We are smashing that rug down. We pulling everything out. And we're like, we're going to face it to fix it this year.
Absolutely. I don't know if it was on the show with you, but I was talking about how the rug, when we sweep things under it, it could be the rug in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
And we just keep sweeping things under it, and that we'll see the hump. And the hump will keep getting bigger.
Walk
and bigger.
around it, walk over it, and don't, like it's not there. Yeah.
But we end up having to deal with it.
Yeah.
And even what you're saying about me being transparent, I had to learn to become vulnerable.
Yeah.
I had to learn to be able to articulate what's happening or what has happened because I internalized it.
Yeah.
People were misreading me because it was showing up in my attitude. It was showing up in my detachment. It was showing up in my health. It was showing up in my weight. It was showing up in my relationships, in my bad decisions, my poor choices.
Yeah.
So it's now required a level of vulnerability and healing. And I think I did share with you about my heart coherence.
Yes. Yes. Let's talk about that heart clearance. I love it.
There were a lot of issues with my heart. A lot of heart issues that needed to be cleared. People think that thoughts start in our mind, but they really do start in our heart. I had a lot of hurt I was carrying. Disappointment, grief, betrayal, letdown, still having to go out in public, keep my smile, and function for myself and my children. I didn't have time to operate in emotion. So if I have to be honest, so this is a lot of their childhood, they had an emotionless mother.
Wow.
In order for me to be able to navigate life and show up for them in the capacity that I could in order for us to do our day-to-day activities.
Wow.
So now you take this woman who is 46, that just had a birthday, 46, and is turning on this faucet of emotions.
Right.
Emotions have been stored
and
up.
Kids probably like, don't what's going on? You want a hug today? Like you want a kiss? Okay, wait, hold on. That's a bit much. Why are you crying? What's going on?
Stored up tears.
Right. I'm letting it all out.
Yes.
Right.
Stored up tears.
Right.
And my girlfriends often joke, like, you're in your soft girl era.
Right.
This is beyond soft.
Right.
This is sappy. But it felt great.
Good. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
The cleanse, being able to truly say how I feel.
Right.
And truly let people know I got boundaries now.
Right. Without reservation.
Without reservation. And I'm not going to lie, Lotuses. We're being transparent here on this couch. In the beginning, I still had some reservation because although I dealt with the imposter syndrome, although I know I was trying to heal from the spirit of fear, I still didn't want people to think I felt like I was better than them. So now I was operating, trying to find this balance of, okay, you don't want people to think you're better than them, but you know you got to have these boundaries.
Right. And isn't it funny how in the midst of you trying to come out of, you still taking into consideration how they feel? I can't even focus on how I feel because I'm worried about how you feel regarding how I'm coming out of my
Girl,
like
you can't even heal
right
from a healthy place,
right? Yeah,
because you're being considerate of others. You've been thinking and you've been trained,
to think about everybody but you,
and that ain't what's up.
And then when you do it, you like, oh, shoot, wait a minute now. Hold on.
I have a level of peace now that I will fight you if you try to come and interrupt it.
So you're going to grab a piece if they mess with your piece.
Expeditiously. expeditiously.